Hello friends, acquaintances, allies, students, faculty, Fort Collins people, in fact, whoever tuned in, hello and welcome. I'm Jeffrey Lindblom. Thanks for being here. Let's get right into it. The Armstrong Hotel has been accommodating guests for nearly 100 years, and it was a little over a decade ago that Oreo, a kitten, found her way into the hotel in 2004 and quickly became a tactical but chubby mouse-hunting gray cat. After soaking in guests' love and praise for roughly 16 years, Oreo died last Saturday. After 2004 renovation, the hotel faced a bothersome mouse problem. It was a good thing that Oreo was there to play cat and mouse with the issue, if you know what I mean. As she grew older, Oreo preferred to find quiet places to get a cat nap in, and even figured out how to use the hotel's elevator rather than taking the stairs. George Prine, the Armstrong Hotel's general manager, says that he and the staff knew that this day would eventually come and that they're all dearly missing the hotel's beloved cat. Fort Collins produces 70% of the beer that goes out of Colorado. It's known well as the brewing town, with a place to grab a beer at every corner. But I've come to find out that it wasn't always this way. Hey there, gang, and welcome alongside me here at Odell Brewing Co., a place that might not be standing here today without a few thirsty individuals that came through the Prohibition era. Now, there is a plethora of beer-loving, brewery-gunning individuals around Fort Collins. However, there did in fact exist a time that this town wasn't always so brewery-savvy.
Then we go into the section about history, the long Prohibition history in Fort Collins.
It was in the early 1800s that miners and German immigrants made way to the States in search of gold. A man named Adolf Coors was among this group, and we know him for his beer legacy that still lives on today. In a time so long ago, in pre-19th century Fort Collins, there were saloons all around town that provoked heightened criminality, eventually leading to Prohibition in 1896. And it wasn't too long after that locals were finding ways to work around the newfound laws.
We go through bootlegging, we go through the underground tunnels that were used in Fort Collins for bootlegging.
Fort Collins was rendered dry of alcohol in 1896, even before the Prohibition Amendment was officially placed in 1919. Until the late 1960s, the best anyone could buy was a 3-2 beer. And finally, in 1968, CSU students had had enough at last.
So some students decided to have a beer in, not like a sit-in, but a beer in when they drank beer. It was illegal to ask for more rights for students in 1968. And this kind of led to the end of Prohibition in 1969.
Personally, I couldn't imagine a Fort Collins without a hefty dose of beer. In truth, there's an element of pride in it. There's no doubt that we brew up some phenomenal things around these parts of Colorado. Calling all creatives, Colorado State University Art Department alumni Riley Fermanek and Kayla Moore are looking to expand the arts community by bringing a nightlife market called Nocturnus to Fort Collins. So if you're an aspiring artist, this will be the perfect place for you to collaborate with others. Moore and Fermanek are looking to create an experience for creative types all across the board. This leaves room for music, poetry, painting, and so much more. Unfortunately, more times than not, a place like this requires vendors to support financial necessities. However, as artists themselves, Fermanek and Moore are all too familiar with costly booth prices that rarely end up even breaking even. Instead, the pair are concentrating on affordability rather than profit. The market will provide local artists with a place to sell their works without burning a hole in their wallets. Unless setting your wallet to flames is in your take on art. Sounds like that could fly at a place like this, then bring it along. The first market will take place March 6th at Mugs Coffee Lounge. Before I make my leave, it's time to breathe my late-night YouTube adventures to life. I've bore witness to this week's content, and I think that I have found that what is at the pinnacle. Stay put, because here comes this week's viral video.
He's holding it with his hands! Hi, buddy! Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Hi, buddy! Oh, no!
Dad. I don't know about you, but that leaves me in a state of pause. A loss for words, if you will. In a way that was equally as depressing as it was adorable. But that's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for sticking around. Don't go anywhere just yet. Sophia Ridley has your weekly weather report coming up here next.